what would you say if I said that I could bring them back?
I guess I'd say I never thought of that.
Well, alright, hold tight, you might wanna stand back, because one small John is coming intact.
St. John forward, spitting out some more words, fully intact, jacked, ready to rap and attack. Small John on your lawn, living like a gnome, hit you with my lyrics like a bullet to your dome.
Tonight when he comes up here, he's either gonna kill or he's gonna suck. But there's no in between for Mr. John Forward.
Oh, well, I didn't know any of that.
Well, that's what I've been trying to say the whole time.
Welcome to St. John Forward Radio, everybody. And it's Monday, November 19th, and I'm live here in the studio. Just remembered that I didn't sign into my my Spotify account so that I can be ready to play the first song. So that's going to be a fun little bit of multitasking while I'm trying to talk on the radio here. Maybe I should just plug in my my telephone. I don't know where the cord is. We'll do that as a backup. Although I've got to take the phone case off this thing because it blocks the headphone jack. This has just been a disaster. But anyway, we're here and doing the show, and now my Google Docs is all weird. Oh my gosh. St. John Forward Radio. We're hearing the beeps. We've got the phone queued up just in case. But anyway, on with the show. This past weekend on the November 17th was a bit of a solemn, sad day for me and comedy fans everywhere. Mostly just in St. John, because that was the first third Saturday of the month in many years where there wasn't a No Jokes Barred show at the R Bar. But there was other things going on. We've got the parking lot show coming up this weekend, the big No Jokes Barred farewell. It's going to be in the Service New Brunswick parking lot at 9 o'clock on Saturday night. Show up if you want to watch the show, if you want to be on the show. I don't know how long we're going to last before we run out of juice, or if we're chased out by the joke borrowers. But we're gonna give it a go, and anybody that wants to do a set, you can throw your name in the bucket, and I'll be drawing them randomly, so that should be a fun time. So it's either going to be a magical evening of delight or a depressing failure, but either way, I'm looking forward to finding out. It wasn't a comedy-free weekend, though. Chuckles had shows this weekend with Nathan, that's not his name, Nathan McIntosh. I went on Friday and enjoyed Nathan quite a bit. Unfortunately, it was a bit of an almost R-bar-y audience there at Chuckles. There was a couple of drunk yellers that was, funny momentarily, but I think the show would have been better without it, and it's not a great impression that for old St. John to make on a touring comedian. But anyway, it was a good show anyway. Nathan McIntosh from Nova Scotia originally, but now he's doing comedy in New York City, and I don't want to pull the classic St. John thing and just assume that anything from away is better, but it is a different experience seeing somebody who's working in one of the big comedy spots. New York and Los Angeles, I would say, would be the epicenters of stand-up comedy, and so it's different seeing somebody that's part of that thing than seeing the abused dogs working the Canadian circuit that have been ravaged by yucks and general indifference in this country. So, New York comic, again, not automatically good just because he's from away, but that's a tough scene to survive in, so you've got to bring it, and he put on a great show on Friday. I got to meet him, but didn't really talk much. I didn't. I feel a little self-conscious trying to get too chummy with a headliner. it's a little different if I'm on the show with them, and in that case I'm a little more confident because they see me do a set. But otherwise I'm just like, oh great, it's the guy that runs the local open mic, or used to. Yeah, I was supposed to actually open for him back in January, but he had to reschedule that show, and I ended up working with Jen Grant and Julian Dion, which was also a fun show, and I think I did well, and that's all that should matter. But part of me is a little bummed out that I missed out on a chance to make a good impression on a New York comedian. I had a good set at Chuckles the time before that when I opened for K. Trevor Wilson last year too. I don't want to be a starfucker, but I like working with semi-famous comedians, and if I can make them laugh, it makes me feel good about myself. But aside from a one-off show I did this summer when Michelle Christine was coming through, I haven't been for a weekend at Chuckles for almost a year now. It's been since January, and with Yuck Yucks gone, that's all we got left in St. John for working with professional comedians. And it's good to make those contacts, but it's also good to work with people better than you as comedians. It's kind of the only way to grow. And because we get into it, we do shows just local with each other, and I can feel like a big shot doing sets with other people that do comedy once a month. But it's a different thing if you're on a show and you're stacking up well with somebody that's actually doing it for a living and out there doing the work. So it's different. But I'm going to fight the urge to get paranoid about why I haven't been back in a while, especially after having really good sets the last 3 times in a row that I was at Chuckles. But just going to keep plugging away, waiting my turn, trying not to spiral. I'm not in therapy anymore, but, remembering the lessons that were learned. But, it's hard to avoid the why them and not me thing when you're in comedy. Same thing happens week after week when I see all the events coming up in my Facebook feed for Hell's Basement in Moncton. I mean, that's another one I had. I did great the last couple of times I was there. It's hard not to say why them and not me every time I see somebody on the lineup. But I don't know. Been in a bit of a funk since my own show got canceled, and also kind of the bust show that I did at Callahan's that nobody showed up for. I should be doubling down and doing as many sets as I can, but I haven't done a single one since I got the news. Still kicking myself for not doing one at the last Sunday afternoons. But I've got some coming up, but mostly the last couple of weeks I've just been reading books and playing Bloodborne. I might get that platinum trophy someday. But I've got 2 shows coming up this weekend on a wide spectrum. $75 dinner and comedy at the Reversing Falls on Friday, and then freezing parking lot for free on Saturday. But next week I just signed up for one on Wednesday at the Abbey in Fredericton, and going up to Bathurst on Friday the 30th. That should be fun. O'Leary's coming up in a couple of weeks. Birthday coming up in a couple of weeks. I do have something No Jokes Barred related planned in December that I'm gonna keep my mouth shut about for now. Probably make the official announcement on next week's show. So tune in for that. I've got a couple of guests here tonight, but they decided to not sit in here and awkwardly watch me deliver my monologue. Normally this is the part where I say hello to my guest, Adam Landry, and Brian Godsoe is also in here. We're not sure if that third microphone works, but we'll be hearing from them after the break. But so I've got my Spotify all queued up. So anyway, comedy hasn't been treating me very well lately, but hopefully these next few shows will help me fall in love again with comedy, because comedy is my book of the month. And we'll be back in a few minutes here on St. John Forward Radio. Uh-oh. Almost got some trash talking on the mics. Not here on St. John Forward Radio. This is a nice show. It's a safe space here at Local FM. So I'm here with my guests that were too good to listen to my monologue and say hello at the end of it, as per usual.
I asked you specifically if you wanted me to come out for it and say hello, and you were indifferent. So I thought I had that time.
John,
I thought you were asking my permission to not have to endure it.
John, can we be careful and not get Adam too riled up? I mean, he's he's already almost been just sort of like doing that thing where he taps his finger, and I worry he's going to get in that again. It's going to be really hard to get him out of it.
Well, he's a comedy superstar on the rise. 2 weeks in a row.
Finally.
Or not 2 weeks in a row, but it was 2 weeks ago. That sort of sounds the same. Maybe that's what I meant to say. 2 weeks ago on the show, inspiration for the inspired idea to do a dumb show in the parking lot this weekend. So that's a go.
My big accomplishment you're giving me credit for?
Yeah. You suggested it. I think you were joking, but...
Yeah, I was joking. It's a terrible idea.
Well, we're doing it.
Well, I'm not going. It's going to be cold out.
No, you told me you were coming and that you were going to bring lights.
Oh, it's okay, Adam. Don't worry. I'm going to make sure you dress warm.
Yes, thank you. All right. Well, also, you forgot to mention my biggest comedic accomplishment, even though I'm wearing it on my belt area.
Oh, sweetie, did you make that yourself?
No, somebody else made it.
Let's take an Instagram picture. You'll be able to see it afterwards on the Facebook. Oh, I gotta move the old picture of the adorable bulldog off my Instagram there. Oh yes. So when you see the picture on Instagram, you're gonna know that it was taken right now.
You didn't even put the flash on.
I don't need flash.
Prove it. Let me see that picture. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, that's right.
Flash is just going to send you into a tizzy anyways, Adam.
Flash isn't gonna shine up that pooch. I don't know. That's not an expression.
I felt like I was in the shadows. I wanted to be better lit, but yeah, that turned out okay. But so yeah, my biggest
I haven't even picked a
accomplishment-
filter yet.
You still didn't say it out loud, and this is all due to jealousy,
All right.
I reckon.
Roast battle champion at McGill's Sunday After Dark, New Brunswick. No help at all.
All of St. John and New Brunswick, I won roasting people.
That's nice, dear.
So anybody who thinks that they can come up and just say whatever they want to me, they better watch out because I might have a sassy comeback.
Right. Yeah, so, we're going through... We've got representation from winners of all but the third round. I guess we had Dan Terrio on last week, but Godsoe, down at the bottom, knocked out in the first round.
Well, that was that was well, it was oh jeez,
It's the Laughter Dark curse. Matt Keenan and Sam both got knocked out in the first round last year too. John Scove Nielsen somehow made it to the third. I only made it to the second round, and then there was some other people in the third round, but then St. John World Champion Adam Landry is here exclusively on St. John Forward Radio. How does it feel to be a champion?
Yeah, it's finally to be recognized. I have one champion down, and I just need to become a champion of 2 or 3 more things before I can finally be happy with my comedic life.
Well, have all the offers come in? You got some public access TV shows on Bell Alliant coming up?
No, surprisingly, there have been very little in the way of offers. I've had to kind of make my own offers up, so I've offered myself different opportunities, and I've got one I'm going to do.
Well, what's that? Tell us all about it. We need the hot scoop here on St. John Forward Radio.
I, Adam Landry, for once, am starting what you can all join. It's called Adam Landry's Comedy Boot House.
So it's you're making a house for boots?
No, you remember when James Mullinger did that show, Comedy Boot Camp?
I don't recall.
You were in it, and you didn't get very far, if I do recall.
Oh, yes, that's when I committed suicide. I forgot.
Yeah. So, because that's how bad you did.
Yeah,
Adam and I have had a lot
So
of talks about that. That was fake, Adam. That didn't actually happen.
You did the
John
special
took it.
effects, Adam.
Yeah, I know. It was a fun time. So what I'm saying is, I'm gonna do a comedy. It's gonna be like that, but instead of, I'm not gonna make you go to a camp. It's winter's coming. We can hang out at my house. It's gonna be a comedy boot house.
Okay.
No, you don't have to even stay in a tent, but you can't stay at my house either. You have to go home. That should be noted.
Well, there wasn't really even a boot camp for the other thing. It was just a contest, and then you went for an afternoon and watched a slideshow, from what I understand.
Yeah, but that was in the woods, right?
No, I think it was at the BMO theater.
Adam, we were over this. Camp it's not a physical camp. They didn't go to a actual
No.
camp.
If
to
you
do
look up
this.
camp in the dictionary, it means not as good as a regular house, and it's in the woods. That's what camp means.
Adam,
And a lot of times that's a tent.
it's a metaphor. Camp is like the experience.
No, but I'm not talking about the metaphor. I'm talking about the regular word, boot camp. Okay, so that's what it means, and I'm going to be doing a similar type of thing as that. But we can have it at my house, and then you get to go home. But I'm going to teach you how to do all kinds of different things. Also, I'm going to teach people how to do special effects because John said how good I am at that too. So we're going to do.
It's true. Shane Ogden was convinced. I really did like shoot myself in the head, but Adam added a little bit. You know, there isn't enough muzzle flash when you fire a real gun, as you
John,
like to see.
don't tell him these stories. He'll believe them, and that's really not good for where Adam's at right now.
Well,
I'm at a good place.
did you like the episode of the TV show version of Comedy Boot Camp is available? Did anybody actually watch it?
No.
I was busy rubbing polysporin on my bullet wound.
Yeah, well, how long is it? Boot camp.
I don't know.
Too long to watch. I was
It's like
busy
a
making.
30-minute episode on the TV, I think.
Yeah, so I see. I had to spend all that time working on my boot camp, and I'm going to teach you whatever you want to know that I know how to do. And I know how to do songs. I know how to do special effects, and I also know how to do the 3 C's of comedy.
Okay. Well, what are the 3 C's? Is it so you have like a legit curriculum that you've developed since 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, so far sounds pretty legit, doesn't it?
Not really.
The 3 C's of comedy, that could go. I could make that a .com. People would go to that.
All right,
3
well-
C's of comedy.com. $49.95 for a year. And
Is-
also, I'll put you on Bell TV or something.
Is one of the 3 C's of comedy?
They're all. It's no. Yeah. It's none of them start.
You can't double up. What's
you
the
want-
What's the first C?
Improv. You got to be good on your feet.
Adam, that doesn't start with C. You know, we talked the
doesn't-
way
yeah.
words work.
Yeah,
Improv starts with I.
Comedy improv?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, comedy improv. Okay, it doesn't matter what the word it wanted to start with. Comedy starts with C. So I couldn't do. Okay, what you're proposing is I make it the 3 I's of comedy so that improv can fit in there. But that's not going to work. So I had to do the 3 C's. It just keep with me on
couldn't you
this.
come up with a 3-letter word and one of the letters would be I? Like aim. Like I could be the second one, and you
But
could have
then-
something that starts with A for the first
That would
one.
make even less sense for the title, the 3 C's of comedy. Okay, I'm
or
gonna stick,
like the Jim.
No, what I do-
JIM of comedy.
I stick with it, so you think that it's going to start with C right up until you realize it doesn't, and then it's not that
Okay,
big
so
a deal at
the
that
first
point.
C
You
is
already
really
read a bunch of words.
misdirection then.
Yeah, but okay. So the second C is roasting.
Oh, wait. The first C though. You
Yeah.
said it's improv. Are
Yeah.
we talking like your grandpa's improv 1.0?
No, you know it's improved improv 2.0 improve. We just call it now improve, and it's going to be We've already talked about that. That's basically what it's going to be. But the idea is that you have to think on your feet as a comedian. Okay, if you got to read it after you wrote it down, it's
Adam,
not that good.
That's improv. That's what improv is. Thinking on your feet.
Yeah, but in this case, you think on with my new system. You think on your feet in advance.
You think on your booted feet, right? You put boots on to help think better on your feet.
He's very good at doing that by himself.
If you want to
now.
help me write the commercial, that sounds good. But what I was get back to what we were saying. Improve is better than improv because with improve we write it down a little bit early.
No,
And you make it better in the moment.
Adam, that's scripting.
Well,
it's scripted.
we've been over this 2 weeks ago. But
So I teach people how to do that.
That's probably why you were able to defeat Dan Terrio, because he's part of the old improv 1.0 school of thought.
Yeah, he didn't improve anything. He just improved it. So that's part of my whole system. That's the first C. It starts with an I, but it's the first C of comedy is to know improv. If you don't know improv and specifically improv 2.0, you're not probably going to go that far. And I can teach it to you.
Okay.
Second C,
All right. Let's hear it.
roasting. No competition there. I still have the belt from that.
Yep, you're
So-
holding it upside down, though.
Again, Adam,
you
that
can't
doesn't
read, so you probably didn't even notice.
that doesn't have the letter C in it. We've been working on your words. We've been
Here's
working
a C
hard
for you. Champion. Okay.
Very good.
He is the roast battle champion.
He
so
hasn't been able to
technically,
read
he's got
that
you
yet.
there. He's got you there. Well, somebody must have told him.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of him.
Thank you. We're gonna get to what your part in this is. Okay. Right now, could you just let me have my moment?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay? And the last C of comedy is all the other jokes besides roasting and improv. I'm gonna teach you those too.
So this is the comedy IRA, really.
None of those letters.
Improv and roasting and all the rest of it.
Oh yeah, okay, that does work.
It's the IRA.
But I like
you
the
could call it
three-
that. That kind of ties into the military thing.
Yeah, it's the IRA boot camp.
I
Yeah,
feel like
there you
James
go.
Mullinger would not have wanted to call it that, but he would have wanted to call it the 3 C's of comedy.
That's
What
because he's
are the
English.
relationships between? What's the relationship between England and Ireland? Do they get along? I'm not sure.
Not great.
They both start with E.
No, Adam. No, England does start with an E, and very good for recognizing that. But
It's one of the 3 E's of England is Ireland. Everyone knows that.
Ireland starts with an I, Adam. Ireland.
And
Sounded out.
although
Ireland.
Ireland.
I think the IRA promotes bombing. I think that might be the opposite of what you're trying to do, though.
Yeah, I never even thought of that. So it's just I wasn't going to take your idea in the first place. It's going to be the 3 C's of comedy. Stop. If you had you couldn't even get through the first round of comedy boot camp, and now you want to tell me how I'm going to make a show, what I should call it. Like you have a better name.
He's getting worked up. I got to sing him a song. Since it does much to take me away from you, nothing but 100 men or more would ever do. I felt the rains down in
I got a better.
Africa.
I got the champions because does this make you feel better? I gotta back it up a little bit. We missed the chorus.
There it goes.
Normally, when he gets like this, I have to, just get out his tags.
This is Adam's weighted vest that we put on when he gets worked up.
He
It
normally.
does make me feel better because I am the champion.
That's nice, dear.
Anyway,
Okay.
today's show is sponsored by Bohemian Rhapsody in theaters now.
Look what happened. The back of the belt's coming off.
Yeah, Dan really didn't
ruined
spend
it.
that much quality time on that.
Travis
I've
took
already
care of
had-
that thing,
Yeah,
and
I've
you've
already
had
had-
it for, what, a month now, and you've destroyed it.
Yeah, because I have friends to show it to. Look, my
true.
mom.
Yeah,
already had
I
to
think
fix it once.
Dan McCarthy just had it like in the drawer at the tire shop, and every now and then he'd be like, "You want some Michelins? Hey, by the way, I was the roast battle champion."
I think he spent more time making it than he did owning it.
Probably.
So at this point in the conversation, you're probably asking yourself, why does the roast master have to have and teacher of the 3 C's of comedy, Adam Landry's comedy boot house? Why do I need to have somebody like Brian here? Are you wondering that?
I was wondering.
He's
Are you gonna
part
tell
of
us?
Yeah, he's part of the classes that we're doing. He's my teacher's assistant.
maybe let's take a break and play a song, and then we can
then we'll
talk
talk about
about
him.
Brian's role in all of this. So
He assists me teaching, and we're going to talk about that coming up.
Oh, I'm gonna have to break this down to you again, Adam. But yes, in a very real sense, I am your teacher's assistant.
Yes, thank you.
So what song do you want us to play this week, Adam?
A Tale of Revenge.
Okay.
Because that's what I got on the comedy community, who never recognized me for what I truly am, the hero of all 3 C's of comedy, roasting, improv, and all the other jokes. I can do them. Some other people can do them too, but not as good as me, and I have a belt in at least one of those. My goal going forward is to make a belt for all the other things and then win that. And this song is about that story, Eye for an Eye.
He's very good at arts and crafts.
You've also you've got an I for a C in your 3 C's.
An I for a C.
All right.
And an R for a C, and an A, T, J for a different C.
And an I for an I on St. John Forward Radio.
Curse the dark and evil day that ever I was born. Curse my mother's loving care that made me safe from harm. Curse the day I grew to be a man and learn to love. Curse the love that made me learn to hate all men. Curse the day that I became what I was born to be. Curse all happy men on earth when a curse like me. Take an eye for an eye, they say. But an eye for an eye won't pay. All that's due, all that's due to a man with nothing left but hate. Let the sun shine upon the sins of men. Let the sun shine upon my day-long strain. Let the stars go by in the black night sky. It's a world of darkness, night and day for me. Cursed the day that I was born into the world I know. Cursed the day that I became what I was born to be. Cursed all happy men on earth who were not cursed like me.
Brian Godsoe, Star Power.
Whoa, what's that coming through your speakers? It's Brian Godsoe on Local FM 107.3 in St. John and localfm.ca.
And on St. John Forward Radio, we're back with Adam Landry and his what's it? So Adam's starting up his 3 C's of comedy boot house, and Brian Godsoe is somehow related to this fiasco.
So, he introduced me as his teacher's assistant, which I am, which I feel I'm qualified for, and his parents pay me to
He's
do
going to
this.
assist with 2 of the 3 C's.
Okay, which 2?
Well, mostly communication and calmness.
Or wait, that's 5 C's now. I'm
So,
confused.
He's talking about different. He's got his own C's as
So
well.
his parents, they talk to me. They recognize I used to be an early childhood educator, and I do have that certificate.
Nice.
And I'm used to dealing with
comedians, young comedians.
in a sense. So I'm used to dealing with 2 and 3 year olds, and you know, Adam is the oldest child I've ever worked with, but it's really not that dissimilar.
Have you ever had to send Adam home because of runny poops?
Once actually, and that was not fun to clean.
Whoa! What are you talking about? That's not for the show. That's not. You don't put that on the radio. Okay, I did that.
No, you're right.
That in
That is-
confidence.
That is very unprofessional of me to break that confidential barrier.
The poop hand confidentiality.
You know, you're gonna get busted down to being the janitor of my comedy boot house.
In a lot of ways, I already am. But
You ain't seen nothing yet. All right. Okay.
Baby.
Let's stick to what he's also going to do for my students. Let's stick to that. My C's of comedy. Okay. He's going to help them with all of them but roasting. He can't do roasting very good.
Yeah, you lost in the first round.
Well, we are working on a lot of pretend play with Adam, and that's one of the things. Like, and I think he's a very imaginative boy, and what he's come up with here is, it's extraordinary. And I think that we're really going to have a lot of fun building his language skills through this sort of play. Like,
Okay. You can't do that kind of talk on the radio. We can cut all this, right? Please.
Not on the live feed, but maybe on the podcast.
Cut it all
But this
out.
is very informative.
No,
You want-
Okay, let's try to turn it around so it seems
Yeah,
like this was all just a joke. Okay, guys,
He's
that's
right.
one of the C's.
I'm breaking his immersion. What I meant to say is, yes, as a associate teacher in Adam's very real, very important comedy school, I'm going to teach 2 of the C's, but not roasting, because Adam is the Emperor Roaster and also more important than even Shredder from the Ninja Turtles.
Yes. That's
Well,
exactly
I mean,
how
you've
had
got
it written down.
you got some pretty big shoes to fill. Like, if you're going to teach comedy, you need to be like on the level of a Ken Bolton or a James Mullinger.
Yeah, well, where's James Mellinger's? Who built him a belt out of comedy for him to have? Nobody. I have one. So if James Mullinger wants to come after me,
I'm sure he's got lots of belts. He's a fancy man.
yeah, but he doesn't have one with a pig on it that is abnormally large. Why doesn't he come and roast me, and we'll see who's the champion of roasting? I challenge James Mullinger. If he wants to come and roast me, I would roast James Mullinger, and then he would only have one of the 3 belts, even if he did win, because I'm still going to have the belt for improv and the belt for all the other jokes.
And we're going to make those belts in our comedy class, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I bought glue, I bought foam, I bought even some googly eyes, because Adam really likes the googly eyes. He cracks up every time he uses them.
Well, that's a problem with this belt. It's not that funny. It's a comedy belt.
Yeah, the pig's
kinda
eye is
funny.
closed. There's no you could stick a googly eye
I
on
think
there.
he
but-
wanted to put a googly eye on the rear end, and I thought that was the most hysterical thing. I wrote about it in his journal and sent that home, and his mom just laughed and laughed.
Stop talking about that stuff. We are going to put some googly eyes on this belt, but I don't. People will see it when they see it. They don't want to know how the idea got there. Stop saying that stuff. Right? I'm not a. He's just a regular friend of mine who's helping me out. All this other stuff is an improv joke he's doing.
I worked with special needs kids last
and I'm not
summer.
yes-anding it. I think that should be noted. I'm not yes-anding anything that he's saying.
You know, I also worked with special needs kids last summer, so...
So you can tell him I'm not one of them. I don't need his help. I can do all the... You know what he's been trying to
I wiped
help?
one butt
Yeah.
one time.
He's been trying to help me do that, and I don't need it. I keep telling him, and he's there every time. I went to try to do one right here on our break, and all of a sudden I see his hand coming up under the stall with toilet paper in it. Like, I got that.
Adam,
don't
that's
need
not
it.
fair. And you know what? You did wipe all by yourself, and I was very proud of you. And I told you, didn't I tell you that I was
He's
proud of
taking
you?
this joke too far. It's not really what's happening.
No, don't take offense to it. This is Brian's skill set. I saw him check the cleanliness of a man's butthole at the last O'Leary's show.
Yeah, well, one of my
Live on
things in my
stage.
skill set is to be able to live a normal adult life without help. Okay? That's
And
a
we're
skill
gonna
that
get
I
there.
have.
We're gonna get there together.
Now, Brian, is it dangerous to be in this situation in a radio station? Because I know the special needs child that I worked with, as soon as he got his hands on a CD, he broke it in half and slashed me with it.
Not at all. Adam's very good with personal property.
I
He's
have
he's sitting in front
regular
of
needs,
a shelf.
okay? They're not special. It's the same needs as anyone else. Yeah, sometimes Brian has to help me with some regular things, but I don't need him to do it. He's just there ready to do it. So yeah, let him do it.
Well,
you know?
Whatever you need, buddy.
what are some of your normal needs that Brian helps you out with?
He knows which key gets me in the front door, and I could learn it.
Well, we're working on that right now. It's
You're working on it.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's your job. I see. That's the thing. He's got jobs he does for me, and he pretends he's trying to teach me how to do them. I'm not trying to learn.
I put a sticker that looks like a house on it, so that way you'd remember.
Yeah, but guess what? It's so you would remember, because you're the only one who ever has to. It's your job.
So Brian, just as a sidebar, I always found when working with normal children like Adam that
Thank you.
maybe you have your own set of keys that's the real ones, and just give him one of those, like the plastic ring with the big chunky
Oh, I have those.
colored keys on it.
I bought them myself.
Well, he's got. That's the thing, though. Is
Are you still allowed to say colored keys in 2018?
Yeah, because you're referring to keys and not people.
Okay,
John,
okay.
let's keep up. But
It's not
that-
that
that's
hard.
actually
I've
kind
got
of.
special needs too sometimes.
But that's actually kind of the problem, because like he's got a ring and all the other keys are those keys, but the house key, which I put the sticker of a house on, is a regular key, and we've yet to get it figured out. and that's the only thing that, like, I'm really frustrated trying to get going, because everything else I can manage, right? But I mean,
well,
like,
in a lot of ways, putting a key in a lock is a lot like putting the toilet paper in your butthole. You have to line it up. You got to have good hand-eye coordination.
I can do it. I just don't want to.
Well,
okay?
but you can see the key. You can see the keyhole, but you can't see your butthole.
But I don't want to put the key in there. All right, I've come this far in my life. And with my comedy status, why should I be the one who has to key my own hole?
We actually had
somebody else can do that.
We actually had an incident last week where he got the holes mixed up, and that was a rough one.
It's hard to get the mess out of the grooves in the key.
No, the key's still in that other one. It ain't coming out. We had to get a third lock.
We did have to get another key cut.
Have you tried using like a very powerful magnet, like Breaking Bad style, to pull that key out?
John, we took him to the hospital. I mean, come on, this isn't a cartoon. This is real life.
Yeah.
I think Breaking Bad was based on a true story.
Yeah, but they weren't trying to get a key out of someone's rectum.
They were trying to get the data off of a laptop.
That's okay. No, there's some metaphor jumping happened here. What I'm talking about is a regular key and a regular lock. None of this. He's improving again, and I'm not yes-anding.
Yeah, this isn't appropriate for radio.
No more improv 1.0 from you. So this is a 2.0 show.
If you don't get a very emphatic and clear yes and, that's it. The improv's over. Okay, we don't keep going if you don't have an emphatic yes and.
It's very unprofessional of me. You're right, Adam. I'm sorry. He did not put a key up his butthole.
Right.
Thank you.
There's no but, not yes and.
No but, not over the air, not revealed in a way that is legally compromising.
And now let's get to so what we got to do is yes and some good stuff about me to even it out, because I feel like we've been, no butting a lot of not great things about me.
So aside from,
and I came here to be recognized as the comedic force of tour de force of nature that I am.
So let's get back to Brian. He assists your normal needs. Does Brian have any interaction with the boot house candidates or students or whatever you call them?
Yeah, he assists me in teaching them.
How?
I don't remember. It's his job to do that, not mine.
Well, I buy all the supplies, which are I buy the googly eyes, the glue, the glitter, the popsicle sticks. So I got all of that. I got a tape recorder because that's something that Adam said is very important.
People often underestimate the power of popsicle sticks when it comes to working on comedy.
Thank you, John. I've been waiting years to hear that.
Important. I don't think I would be the successful comedian that I am today if it wasn't for popsicle sticks.
Another thing, and I'm very proud of Adam for this, but he saved up all his allowance and he bought a webcam, so we could put this on the internet, and I think that's really going to be good for his creativity.
Yeah, and so do you think, John, now after hearing about how awesome this boot camp is and the potential and all that now you're going to want to be in it? Because my boot house versus you did James Mullinger's boot house, but my boot house, you're going to come out of it a 10 out of 10. You might get to that number one comedian spot.
I had a real bad headache after the last one. So I don't know. I've been burned too many times by these comedy contests.
Yeah, but I'll get some Advil and you can come to mine.
It's going to be a lot of fun, John. And I think you're, as a child professional as well, akin to mine, you're going to get a lot from this.
I don't know. I feel like if I participate in this, is just going to lead to another nervous breakdown on St. John Forward Radio.
I can't imagine that you will get nervous and broken down.
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. My head really hurts. If I don't find a way out of here, I'm gonna go berserk 'cause I'm crazy and I'm hurt. Head on my shoulders, it's going berserk. I hear the same old talk, the same old lines. Don't tell me that today, if you know what's good for you, you'll get out of my way, 'cause I'm crazy and I'm hurt. Head on my shoulders, going berserk.
song about the dangers of entering comedy contests on St. John Forward Radio. So I'm here with Adam Landry and his teaching assistant Brian Godsoe, talking about Comedy Boot House, getting into the 3 C's of comedy. They're trying to convince me to sign up for this thing, but
well, you got to admit there are at least 2 C's of comedy you could work on.
Which 2?
Roasting, okay, for one, because I won that contest. You were in the contest.
I
and
wrote
you didn't
half of
win
your
it.
jokes.
Well, yeah, but only half. The other half were the good ones. You can ask anyone.
Sure. Okay.
John, remember we're trying to maintain that independence. We want Adam to believe that he's writing these jokes.
Will you stop?
Fair enough.
In front of
Okay.
me. Look,
But still, there was the comedy boot camp, and then there was the hubcap thing, and
yeah. Well, if you went to my camp first, and it's not a camp, we're doing it in a house where you can't get wet. If you do, well,
I don't like
parts of it where
I
you
don't
can get
like
wet.
to crawl under barbed wire in the mud.
No,
So.
nobody does. It has nothing to do with comedy. People who do that come out less funny typically. So what I'm saying is, you come to my boot house and you will learn the two C's of comedy that you could get better: roasting and all the other jokes, and I can help you with those.
So I'm good at improv then. No work.
I didn't want to say that it was all 3. Why do you go right to that? Okay, let's focus on
I'm
what.
just fishing for compliments
Yeah,
here.
so
You're on
that's
my
it.
show. That's the only reason I have people in here, is to tell me how great
If I was
am.
going to introduce right now a 4th C to comedy, it would be to not fish for compliments. 4th C, number 4.
Wait a minute. So if I just went on stage and demanded that people compliment me, what about the how's everybody doing tonight? And they clap and you having a good time? Like that kind of stuff. That isn't good.
Well, it's not, if you have to do that because you're trying to remember
I
other
can't
stuff.
hear you.
Yeah, you don't.
Come on, everybody.
No, it's not good, and you know it's not good. You've been to comedy shows.
Adam, when I came over today to pick you up, you were doing that in the mirror.
Anybody celebrating anything tonight?
Here's the thing about that type of stuff. You do that if you're trying to bide your time while you remember the normal words you were going to say. In the meantime, you could do that stuff, and that's why it's good to know how to do it. But
That's a really good coping mechanism. Actually, I'm really proud that you admitted that you were using that as such. That's a lot of growth.
But
for
a
you.
coping mechanism should not be one of the C's of comedy, okay?
Either you guys have a birthday? Yeah, Adam, you had a birthday recently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we got
happy birthday.
See, that's what I could help you with. Improv. That's one of the other C's that you could work on, okay? I wasn't going to say it. It's all 3 C's, John. Let's be realistic here.
John, you should have been there too. It was magical. We got one of those, those cake boxes, and Adam really likes Tonka trucks.
Wait, what is a cake box?
Well, like
the
a box with
that
a cake mix?
comes in?
It's a box of cake.
And then we baked a cake, and we got Tonka trucks, and we put them on it, and he blew out his own candles. It was really, really cool to see. Last year I couldn't
Did you
even
have
get him to
a
blow out
fire
his own
extinguisher
candles.
on hand in case the beard went
Look,
out?
I
We didn't
told-
need one this year.
He wanted to put the trucks on it. I just like that flavor. The Tonka flavor is my favorite of those cakes. But it wasn't because of the trucks. Okay, it's not. It's a good tasting flavor.
I worked hard on that.
You didn't work that hard. You wanted me to do most of the work because you said I needed to learn how to do that. And once again,
I thought that was a bonding experience. We bonded.
I think we can all agree that Tonkas taste delicious. So
the problem here I see with
Don't
with the
get him to put cars in his mouth.
The problem I see with the relationship that me and Brian have is, okay, he showed up one day to help me do some stuff, and I didn't need any help with it. But I said, you know what I do need help with? This comedy boot house. Okay, you could be my second in command, teacher's assistant. And ever since, he's been trying to do all this kind of parenting stuff. I don't know what he's up to. I don't know, now that I think about it, how he got to my house, who brought him there. But
Adam, I drove my car. I told you this. I gave you the ride here.
well, yeah, okay, you probably brought yourself, but who told you to come to my house? Is somebody else paying you to help me out with just regular adult things? Because I can handle it.
Your parents.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
social assistance. You can't just throw an Adam Landry into a community without some support system in place.
And I spent 3 hours this week.
You live up the street from me. I'm glad that you got somebody to help you out.
I spent 3 hours building a puppet theater for his his comedy boot house play thing that he's going to be doing.
I was worried when you moved into the neighborhood that you'd be wiping your butt on like my lawnmower.
See, I don't need help with all this stuff. See, what I was doing is I had a pet that I was going to train to do all this, and I was working on that, and I didn't need a regular person to help me. I got this bird, from outside, and I was training him to do all the regular tasks around the house. I think what happened is this guy saw that I needed help, and he thought that he could help me, but the bird is almost there. So if you would just leave me alone and teach the comedy to people like John so that they would pay me some money for once.
So does Brian help count the ballots? I assume there's some sort of nonsense voting process that happens at the beginning.
Can I address something before we go ahead? First of all, the bird's the reason why I start going over there. His parents were really worried because he brought a pigeon in, and he's trying to train this pigeon to make him hot chocolate.
I barely have to train him. He's super smart for a pigeon.
What Adam, and maybe I shouldn't reveal this to him, but I'm trying not to lie to him. I'm trying to be truthful with him. Adam, we let the pigeon go weeks ago.
What?
Wait, so do you think it's easier to train a pigeon to make hot chocolate than it is to train your own hands?
No, I knew. Okay, but you teach a man to fish, and he gets fish forever. If you teach a bird to give a man fish, isn't that better somehow?
Okay, yeah, right. That's an expression we all know.
Yeah, but not a disease-carrying bird from outside that could have seriously hurt you, Adam.
I washed him. Good. Okay? Look, I know how to take care of myself.
Sprayed him with a hose in the backyard.
I don't need this man's help for that. I just need him to teach other people comedy so that I can make money from it.
How does somebody get into this comedy thing? Because I don't like having to post on Facebook and begging all my friends to vote for me and like my video and all that nonsense.
First of all, you send in your headshots and we throw out all the ugly ones. We call back all the people who are okay looking. Then
that's what we need. Yeah, comedy, the better looking you are, the funny you are, usually.
And then we'll weed through the thousands of people who are good looking and decide who's the funniest. It's going to be hard. We'll pick out 8 funniest people. And then, you know what I just thought of? It would make more sense. Since this is a thing where we're teaching people, why don't we bring in the least funny people?
Yeah, actually.
They need it more.
Yeah. We'll bring in the 8 worst comedians. It's going to be like Canada's worst driver.
Any friends you want to bring along?
Let's go through the list. 8 worst comedians.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Okay, we don't have to. We can spare their feelings.
We have a whole committee.
If you get the letter, you'll know who you are, and you can come to the comedy boot house. And there's 4 rounds. So the first round is you got to do a type 5. Okay, whoever will kick out the best ones, and then you got to do.
You're going to kick out the best ones? Shouldn't they move on to the next round?
No, we're trying to figure out who the worst one is so we can help them the most.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with this. I might have a shot now.
This is actually a really clever idea, Adam. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. And then the second round is the other C's of comedy. So we're going to do roast battles, and whoever gets roasted the hardest, they can stay. And then we're going to do improv battles, and whoever has the most,
Wait, how's an improv battle work?
Well, whoever comes out with the most pre-written stuff loses.
I thought it was supposed to be. Okay.
No, that's a second battle.
John, please don't confuse them.
Yeah, because we're doing improv and improve. So improv goes first. Whoever has the most written material loses.
Okay, and then on the next round, you improve on that previous one.
And then the people with the most written material will probably win that round. And then the last round is about 20 minutes of all the other jokes. 20 minutes of all the other jokes. You can write them down or maybe not, whatever, but they have to be not fit into improv or roasting. And then whoever wins that becomes St. John's worst comedian in Adam Landry's comedy boot house.
Okay. So at the end of this, you're trying to, instead of finding the greatest comedian on earth, like Mullinger's Comedy Boot Camp, which gave us Martin Saulnier and Matt Keenan.
When I first started talking about it right now, I was thinking I did want the best ones, but then I came up with this idea about the worst ones would make more sense. So
that's who gets to stick around for the full course.
You kind of caught me in a stage of flux We don't know for sure what the contest is going to be.
We're also.
I just flexed too hard.
We need to raise a little bit of money because the top prize, the winner of the worst comedian, is going to get an ice cream cake made out of their face. Like their face is going to be on it.
Made out of their face?
Well, not made out of their face, but their face is going to be on it in a photorealistic way. And we're all going to eat the ice cream cake together. But what we need to put out, because
without the face, an ice cream cake's like $20. Okay, so we're not cheaping out on this. We put your face on there, you know that we're meaning business.
All right, I have an idea. We can get some synergy going. What if maybe the preliminary tryout round will be this Saturday in the parking lot at Service New Brunswick for the No Jokes Barred show?
Is that what time is that going to be, John? I just want to make sure it's not past his curfew.
Adam's gonna start helping me set up at 8:30, and we're gonna start the show at 9.
No, that should be fine. As parents,
and we're either going to pick the best or the worst comedians to be in the boot house. We're not sure which yet, so bring your middle game.
Yeah, that's a good plan. Don't be too good, but also this is the Service New Brunswick parking lot, so you want to make a good impression on the public. I don't know. What do you guys think about this parking lot idea? Adam, you've already said it's stupid. Brian, are you looking forward to hecklers from King Square?
I don't think we're going to get any hecklers, John, but I'm looking forward to being cold and waiting for my name to be drawn from a bucket.
Well, people can nobody needs to go outside for a smoke, which is a plus. Everybody can just get wasted in the parking lot. You can bring your own booze. I'm going to just say that you can do that. Well, let's keep it discreet. Bring some paper bags.
Once we get inevitably kicked out, everybody who's not weird is invited back to my house for a campfire in the snow.
What do you have? A barrel fire that you could bring?
I'm gonna actually build the fire for him because we don't trust him around matches anymore. Not since the incident.
All right, that's it.
Yeah, we'll get him one of those things with like a fan and a light in it, and it just kind of blows the orange streamers, and it looks like a fire.
That's a good idea.
I would like to say that everything that Brian's been saying about me through this whole thing, it's been greatly exaggerated, and he is just improving, and none of it's true. And everything that I said about the situation previously is true, so use that for reference when you listen to what he says.
I'm going to defer to Adam because I really need this job.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're coming up on the end, so we're going to have the preliminary round at No Jokes Barred in a parking lot on Saturday. If you want a meal and some comedy, you can spend $75 to come see me at Reversing Falls this Friday.
Probably
the menu
not.
just came out and it's tasty, and I hope I get to eat some of the food. I haven't been told yet. But
what's on the menu? I think I'm more interested in that than is on the lineup.
That's going to take me a minute to find it on my phone. I'm not really sure. Yeah, that's going to be not worth the time it takes me to find this.
We'll
Do either of you have anything to promote other than
I've been promoting my boot house all night, so come to that. Details, online.
Sunday After Dark, which is going to be this Sunday. It's going to be a regular bucket show, although we are going to put a few people up that we did pre-book. Mm-hmm. And also Hard Times streaming now on a YouTube near you.
All right, I've got the Comedy Off the Falls first course, hors d'oeuvres, a mix of seafood, beef, chicken, and veggies. Hors d'oeuvres and canapes. I don't know what that means. Second course, either chicken supreme or scallop fettuccine carbonara, and then the third course.
You're bringing stuff in from Taco Bell?
I guess so. And the third course, gingerbread molasses cake.
Maybe I will go.
So you can check that out.
Adam, you're not spending $75 at Taco Bell again.